Hi guys, my name's Ben Myers, and I'm a singer-songwriter from Lawrence, Kansas. And I wanted to make a video to highlight some of my early albums that I haven't really released until now. The people that know me for my four studio albums, In Persona, Ninth, Daylight Moon, and Portrait. But they haven't really listened to these early albums that I released back from 2006 to 2009. And I got through 7 albums back then, really trying to hone my craft. So the first album I did was called Modern Phenomenon. Now, Modern Phenomenon was during the Bush era, where there were a lot of dark political things going on. And I was also delivery driving and was really isolated a lot of the time, was listening to a lot of music. And this album was kind of born out of that. There's a lot of kind of isolationist ideas in here. One of the lyrics is, "It takes a heart attack to feel like you're alive," So I'm really kind of pushing my boundaries a little bit as far as being dark and feeling alone and feeling trapped, and the government's out to get us. And so Modern Phenomenon also contained some of my first electronic drum tracks. So I was really experimenting with electronic drums back then, and there's some different beats and some different rhythms in there that kind of make the songs interesting. But yeah, the next album I did was the beginning of 2007, called Found a Way Around. And Found a Way Around was really my psychedelic experience album. I was really trying to blow my own mind and push the boundaries, even as far as my songwriting style. There was some kind of reggae influence in there, and I was trying to write better lyrics and trying to project my voice even more. So I was really having fun. Really, this is kind of a fun album, and it's actually one of my brother's favorite albums. But yeah, this is the psychedelic album, and I was kind of blowing my own mind at the time, so it's appropriate. The next album I did was called Common Rogue. Now, Common Rogue was born out of a lot of isolationist ideas as well. I was loading trucks late at night for a company, and I'd had this run-in with a girl that didn't really work out, and I felt she was playing me. And so there's a lot of songs that are real dark. I was pulling in a lot of blues influence, bluesy numbers. I wanted to really kind of rub it in that I was alone and that the world is dark and you're forever going to be alone and all this stuff. But it's actually a fun listen, and it's probably one of my favorite early albums to listen to. So that's Common Rogue. The next one I did was a completely 180 from the last one. This one's called December Boy. Now, December Boy was really more uplifting. I kind of become infatuated with a girl, and things seemed to be working out really well. And I was trying to write songs that I felt like would help people that were in need because I felt good. So there are a lot of real spiritual type helpful songs that I kind of was trying to pull off, and also using some electronic drums on this one. But it's kind of a bigger, more open, spiritual album. A lot of love songs on this one. But it's an interesting one nonetheless. The next one I did was called Drag the Nighttime Down. Now, Drag the Nighttime Down was an album that came from me having not worked things out with this girl. And I was really depressed, but at the same time, I was really trying to push the boundaries of my songwriting and trying to do something different than what I'd done before. So there's actually a lot more bluesy pop elements to this. I was trying to experiment with kind of like throwing in like psychedelic undertones to some of the bluesy pop. And it's actually probably the first album where I'm kind of developing my real style. And so it's a lot of fun. There's some really deep songs about longing, and there's a few uplifting songs as well that people liked from this album. The next one I did was called Substitute for Love, which I feel is a little bit of a continuation of Drag the Nighttime Down. I'm trying to kind of experiment a little more with my songwriting style, being more kind of troubadour, folk rock kind of person. And a lot of these songs are softer, and there's some real sweet songs too. I had a little bit of luck with a girl, and I think I was writing some sweeter songs on this one too, but it was still kind of like the Drag the Nighttime Down vibe, where things were pretty dark and, isolated. So the next one I did was my self-titled album called, Ben Myers. And this album was really unique because I was listening to a lot of John Lennon's solo stuff, and I was pulling in a lot of kind of concepts from those. And I was also trying to really listen to songs that I really liked and try and figure out what made them work so well. So I was really focused on songwriting mechanics in this one, trying to figure out what really worked. And there's live drums on this one, and it's probably the best precursor to my first studio album that you can get. It's a lot of my real honed kind of bluesy rock folk style, and it's a fun listen. So yeah, those are my albums. And anyway, if you want to subscribe or join on my website, benmyersonline.com, I've got some free music for you. Or if you just want to check it out and give it a listen, I'd always appreciate that. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the flip side. See ya.